But they interviewed old WNBA fans, and they were listing the reasons why they became fans of the league. And one of them literally said they became fans of the league because it didn't have the same kind of criticism. Or right here, Holt and other longtime fans said that they didn't see opposing players as enemies to trash talk, but as collaborators in a burgeoning effort to promote women's basketball.
The Women's Basketball League is grappling with major issues as players engage with fans amid negotiations for new collective bargaining agreements. Rather than building constructive connections with their audience, some athletes continue to criticize those who attend games and buy merchandise. Recent reports from leading media outlets highlighted longtime fans sharing why they were initially drawn to women's basketball.
To promote women's basketball. Sorry, the rest of the sports world has discovered this league. For Brooks, a lifelong sports fan, the experience felt entirely new. She had grown up in Philly, attending Eagles games with her dad, and watching spectators hurl snowballs at opposing players. She learned a dictionary worth of curse words and witnessed brawls that ended in bloody noses and handcuffed police escorts. Nonetheless,
these committed fans highlighted that women's basketball originally stood out for its unique approach compared to traditional sports. They valued an environment where players weren't treated as enemies, but as collaborators aiming to raise the profile of women's athletics. One longtime supporter recalled growing up going to football games, where spectators would hurl objects at opposing teams and even witness violent incidents that required police involvement.
The roads they're going down. So here we go. Alyssa Thomas, right here, talking about the fandom.
Yes, I think, our sports culture, I think so many fans, have the freedom to say whatever they want to us. And unfortunately, there's a lot of nasty things that come with it. At the end of the day, we're here doing our...
Although fans support the sport's growth, they want it to happen under certain boundaries. Conventional sports often feature intense criticism and scrutiny, but these supporters prefer a different approach. Looking ahead, the league could face legal challenges if it tries to limit commentary from content creators and social media voices.
Sunday football was about decompression. Here we go. They don't want the same criticism here. I understand hardcore fandom, and in particular being a kid in that space. Those spaces are very male spaces. So really, most of these old WNBA fans, they don't want men to watch this sport. They don't. And they certainly don't want fans of...
Such measures could trigger major legal disputes over free speech limits. Alyssa Thomas recently spoke on fan behavior, noting that modern sports culture gives supporters too much leeway in commenting on athletes. She pointed out that players often endure inappropriate remarks while doing their jobs, unlike workers in private sector roles who are largely shielded from public scrutiny. Thomas called for stronger protections for athletes while recognizing the difficult reality of addressing these challenges. The key distinction lies between public and private employment. Those in highly visible roles, like entertainers and athletes, naturally face criticism, sometimes quite harsh.
Sports watching their sport. They want to grow, but they want to grow a certain way. Regular sports fans criticize, sometimes harshly so. And there'll be a video coming about the Chicago Sky and that woke tech service they decided to hire. Because I got some comments about that too that I'll get to in another video. But I'm like...
Thomas's remarks were aimed specifically at fans of Caitlin Clark, whose connection with teammate Diana Taurasi introduces unique dynamics within the league. This scenario marks an unprecedented development in professional sports. When Thomas sought roster changes to play alongside her partner, it sparked significant public criticism. Such situations undermine the league's credibility and professional standards, making it harder for serious fans to respect the competition. Statements from players like Thomas have directly contributed to falling attendance and revenue. When Clark suffered injuries, ticket demand dropped sharply, as fans were unwilling to pay premium prices for athletes who appear ungrateful for growing support.
Comments about that too that I'll get to in another video, but I'm like, they're going to mess around and they're going to have creators, influencers, etc. This league will end up catching lawsuits from people. That's where that's going to end up heading. I can tell you right now, because they're going to at some point they're going to try to squash people's voices, and they're going to legally smash them for trying that. So I hope they understand what
Ticket prices for the All-Star Game dropped by 50% after Clark's absence was announced. Seats initially priced at $121 fell to $64 on several ticketing platforms. This sharp decline happened within days of the injury report, highlighting Clark's significant influence on the league's finances. The impact goes beyond single games, affecting entire weekend events and related business opportunities. Industry reports tracking market trends confirm these shifts. Such steep price drops are partly driven by athletes publicly criticizing the very fans who support television contracts and sponsorship deals.
At the end of the day, we're here doing our jobs, and they don't have people coming to their job saying these nasty things. So we definitely have to protect the players better. It's unfortunate that it's come to this point, but I know we're going to continue to speak up about it, and we're just trying to play basketball. That's all.
Okay, well, number one, you got a job that's in the public light. That's the difference between you and a guy on some garbage truck somewhere, or some lady that's an accountant in some office.
Major fan groups could eventually reach a tipping point due to continual negative portrayals of their intentions. Unlike this, other professional sports leagues rarely criticize their paying audiences so frequently or harshly. Athletes in basketball, football, and other sports recognize that a public career naturally invites scrutiny over performance, conduct, social media activity, and personal decisions.
On some garbage truck somewhere, or some lady that's an accountant in some office that's not in the public light. You're going to get criticized, and sometimes harshly so. But what she really meant was Caitlin Clark fans. Let's be real. This is DeWanna Bonner's girlfriend, wife, whatever they want to think. Well, we just watched what she tried to do with the Fever. She got herself let go so she could go where? Join her significant other on another team.
Public figures in high-profile roles must be prepared for opinions on every part of their professional and public lives. True privacy is limited to matters kept entirely private. Longtime supporters, who have been described in reports as favoring non-confrontational settings, even resist common basketball traditions, such as crowd noise during free throw attempts.
CBA agreement. Now, Caitlin Clark had on a shirt that actually stated she deserved money like NBA players. Now, I told y'all my thoughts on this, bro. And me personally, I feel as if these WNBA players definitely deserve more money. Should they be getting money like the NBA players? I don't think so. They owe these NBA owners a lot of money, bruh. And me personally, I feel like it's kind of,
During the WNBA All-Star Game, players like Caitlin Clark and her teammates wore shirts advocating for higher pay and gender equality in professional basketball, highlighting ongoing collective bargaining discussions. While fans widely supported the message, financial realities remain a challenge, as WNBA revenues are far lower than the NBA's, limiting salary growth. Standout performances, including Alyssa Thomas and Paige Bucher's records, kept the focus on the game, even as conversations about pay and sustainability continued. The demonstration showcased evolving approaches to labor advocacy, bringing public attention to behind-the-scenes negotiations. Social media and live crowds amplified the debate, reflecting growing fan engagement. League officials must now balance immediate player demands with long-term business viability to ensure sustainable growth.